We continue now at the top of Daf Chav Zayin Amud Beis in Meseches Avodah Zara. This is Avodah Zarah Daf 27b. And the previous Amud the Gemara said that you can't get medical services from an Oved Kochavim, from an idol worshiper. But Rav Chisda said that if the idol worshiper gives medical advice, you can take that advice. And the Gemara now continues and explains, because the Oved Kochavim thinks Shiyule Mashalo, he's asking him this question. And Kihechi de Mashalo, Mashal in Shachrina, just like he's asking him, he's going to ask somebody else. V'yasau Gavra Lower Nafshe, and if he gives bad advice, so it's going to come out that he's harming himself because he's going to harm his reputation. Rashi explains, Savar ha'ovid kochavim, the idol worshiper thinks, Shiyulei kamishayil ha'yisrael, this Jew is asking me, the lo boili tasim minoi, from the fact that he doesn't want to get healed from me, lo samech alai, he's not really relying on me, v'shiyulei kamishayil nasosi, he's just asking me to test me, im omer lo emes, to see if I say the truth to him, and that's why you're allowed to rely on the ovid kochavim in this case. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rava says, and the Mesoras Hashas changes it to Rabba says, Amar Rabba, Amar Rav Yochanan. Rabba says that Rav Yochanan says, V'amri lo Amar Rav Chisda, Amar Rav Yochanan. Some have the version that Rav Chisda said, that Rav Yochanan said, Safik Chai, Safik Meis. Let's say you have a person who is ill, and it's unclear whether he will live or die. So Ein Misrap in Mehen. So then you're not allowed to take medical services from the Ovid Kochavim, because in that situation, there's a doubt whether he's going to live or die, and the Ovid Kochavim is just going to kill him. But Vadai Meis, but if he's in a situation where he's for sure going to misrap in Mehen, so then you are allowed to get medical services from them. That is no problem. The Gemara says, well, Mei, so Ika Chayesha, but it's true that he's going to die, but what about Chayesha? Meaning to say, if the Ovid Kochavim kills him, he's going to die right away. Otherwise, he might live for a little bit, he'll live temporarily. So maybe even in a situation of Vadai Meis, we should say that you shouldn't get medical services from the Ovid Kochavim. And the Gemara says to that, L'Chayesha lo Chayshin, and we're not concerned for the fact that he might live a little bit longer. That's not a reason to say to avoid the medical services of the Ovid Kochavim. And the Gemara says, now from where do we see that we're not concerned with Chayesha? Because it's written, this is a pasuk in Malachim, it's talking about those who had saras, they were lepers, and they were not concerned with Chayesha. They said as follows, if we say we'll go to the city and there's a famine in the city and we'll die over there, Rashi over here explains, this is by the 4 Mitzorayim. If we go to the city, there's famine in the city, we'll die there. If we stay here, we'll die. Better that we go to the camp of Aram. Maybe we'll be able to live over there. If they kill us, so then we'll die. The point is we're going to die either way, so we might as well try. And so over there also you can say, but over there also, isn't it that they're going to live a little bit longer? They might starve, but they'll live a little bit longer, otherwise they'll die immediately. Elalav, rather, is it not? We're not concerned with Chayesha. The fact of the matter is they're going to die. Whether it's going to not be immediately or not is not really an issue. They're going to die anyhow, and so therefore they are allowed to take that chance. And the same thing is true when it comes to getting medical services from the idol worshippers. And the Gemara continues, Meisvei, we have a question from the following Braisa, Lo Yisa v'yiten Adam im haminin, a person is not supposed to do business with the heretics, Ve'in misrapin mehen afilu l'chayesha, and a person shouldn't be healed from them even if it's a situation of chayesha, meaning even if it's a situation where either way he's only going to live for a little bit of time temporarily, still he shouldn't get medical services from the heretics. Ma'isa ben Dama ben achoso shel Rabbi Yishmael, there was an incident with Ben Dama, who was the son of the sister of Rabbi Yishmael, sheikisho nachash, he was bit by a snake. Uva Yaakov ish kfar Sachanya l'raposo, and Yaakov ish kfar Sachanya, who was a student of Yeshu, he was a student of Jesus, he came to heal him. V'lo hinicho Rabbi Yishmael did not allow it. V'amar lei Rabbi Yishmael achi hanach lo ve'rapi mimenu, and so Ben Dama said, Rabbi Yishmael, my brother, let him come and let me be healed from him. V'ani avi mikra min haTorah shu mutar, I'll even bring you a pasuk from the Torah that it's mutar for me to be healed from him. V'lo hispik ligmor es hadavar, but he didn't finish to conclude the matter until his soul departed and he died. And Kara Olav Rabbi Yishmael called about him, Ashrecha Ben Dama, fortunate are you Ben Dama, Shaguf Chatar, that your body is pure, V'yotzta nishmascha b'tahara, and your soul departed in purity. V'lo avarta al divrei chaverecha, you do not transgress the words of your colleagues, Shahayu omrim, that they say, Uporetz gather, one who breaks down the fence, Yishchenu nacha, she's going to be bit by a snake. And so in any case, you see from this brisa that even in a situation of chayesha, you're not allowed to get healing from the heretic. And the Gemara says, Shani Minos, no, it's different by a heretic. There's a difference between a heretic and an Ovid Kochavim. We were talking about an Ovid Kochavim before, but a heretic were actually more strict, because by Minos, when it comes to heresy, Demashcha, when it comes to Minos, that is something that draws people after it. Da'asi lemimshach basrayu, it's enticing, and the person's going to be drawn after it, and therefore that's a reason why we are more strict when it comes to getting healing from a heretic. And the Gemara continues, Amar Mar, the master said, Lo avarta al divrei chaverecha, you didn't transgress the words of your colleagues, Shahayu omrim, because they said, Uporetz geder yishchenu nachash, the one who breaks the fence is going to be bit by a snake. And the Gemara asks, Ihunami chivya tarke, what kind of statement is this? He actually was bit by a snake. The whole story began that he was bit by a snake. So how did he avoid any snakes? And the Gemara says, no, chivya derab, the less le'asusa klal. When we talk about bit by a snake, it's chivya derabanan. It is a bite of the snake of the rabbanan where there's no healing at all. Rashi explains, chivya derabanan less le'asusa klal, shim noshcho nachash bishvil sha'avar al divrei chacham. It means to say, let's say a person gets bit by a snake because he transgressed the words of the sages, lo sala lo refuah, there's no healing whatsoever, v'yamus, and he'll die, im hayim misrapim min neshicha, if he does heal from this bite, sofo lamos al yidei neshichas chaveirav over al divrei chachamim chayiv misa. He's going to end up that he's going to die through the bite of his colleagues, because one who transgresses the words of the chachamim is chayiv misa. That's what it means when it says yishchenu nachash. It's more severe than what happened in this situation. And the Gemara continues and says, Umay havalei lameimar. Now, what was he going to say? Again, Ben Dama said that I'm going to bring you a proof from a pasuk that I am allowed to take these medical services. He was going to bring the pasuk of v'chai bohem. It says you're going to live by them. V'lo shayamus b'hem. It says you live by the mitzvahs. You don't die by the mitzvahs, and so therefore that should have been a proof that he could receive these medical services. For Rabbi Yishmael, but Rabbi Yishmael would respond to that, Hani mili b'tzina, that's only if it's in private. Aval befarhesilo, but to receive this in public, that is going to be a problem. And Rashi explains, Befarhesi in public, Yesh Chil Hashem, that's already a Chil Hashem, it's a desecration of the name of Hashem. Sheyotzi l'chutz l'meidin mimenu l'chalal b'ktushas Hashem, that the word goes out, people learn from that to be mechalal, to desecrate the sanctity of Hashem. As the Gemara continues to Tanya, as we learned in a Brisa, Haya Rabbi Yishmael, Omer Rabbi Yishmael would say, Minayin shem omrim lo la'adam, from where we know that if they say to a person, Avodas kochavim, you should serve Avodah Zara v'al tehareg, and don't be killed, sheyavod v'al yehareg, that the person should actually serve the Avodah Zara and not be killed. Talmud Lomer v'chai bohem v'lo sheyamas b'hem. That we learn from v'chai bohem, that you live by them, you don't die by them. But yachol afilo b'farhesi, I might think that's true even in public. Talmud Lomer v'lo sechalu Hashem kachi. It says v'lo sechalu Hashem kachi, the pasuk of Kiddush Hashem. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rava bar Bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rava bar Bar Chana says that Rabbi Yochanan says, Kol mako shemechalin oles haShabbos, any kind of wound which we would desecrate the Shabbos, ein misrapin mehen, that you're not allowed to get healing services from them. V'iko diamri, there are those that say a different version of the above. Amar Rava bar Bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rava bar Bar Chana says that Rabbi Yochanan says, Kol, any time. Rashi explains, Kol mako shemechalin oles haShabbos, again, any wound that we would desecrate Shabbos, dahainu maka sakana, that's another way of saying it's a wound that poses a danger to life. If it's a wound that poses a danger to life, so ein misrapin mehen, you can't be healed from them. Aval she'ein ba sakana, but if it doesn't pose a danger, misrapim, then you could be healed from them. V'lesle de Rav Yehuda dafilu rivda de kosil salomasi. Now, according to this, he does not hold, meaning Rabbi Yochanan does not hold, Rava bar Bar Chana, Rabbi Yochanan does not hold of what we said in the previous Rav Yehuda said that you're not even allowed to get from Ovdei Kochavim the incision by bloodletting. Even that you're not allowed. But here we're saying, no, that is allowed. It's only if it's a situation of danger to life that it's not allowed, according to Rava bar Chana Amar Rabbi Yochanan. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Chav Ches Amar Aleph.